good. What's going on, friends? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're getting started with the first set of modifications to my brand new 2019 Kawasaki Ninja H2. She spent the last 2 weeks or so getting ceramic coated and clear broad. And now that she's back home, I'm gonna start ripping her apart again. There's a few things that need to get done. First thing we need to do is remove the fairings because I gotta get the ECU out. ECU is going to get flashed by Woolwich. Second thing is get rid of this giant whale-tailed bull. And then the third thing is going to be remove this ugly ass excuse for an exhaust and replace it with this, a full titanium Van Diemen exhaust. So because of all the work that's involved, I would normally say that replacing the whale tail is about a 1 beer job. Removing the fairings and ECU, I say a 1 beer job, maybe 2. I've been told that the fairings on this bike are a pain in the balls to get off. And exhaust, I would normally say that's about a 2 to 3 beer job, but just because you have to get the radiator out and remove the tank and a bunch of other random crap that's hooked up to the exhaust, I'm gonna say that's about a 4 beer job. So if my half-drunken math is correct, we gonna get up while we're working on this bike. That's a lot of beers. That's a many beer job. If I'm not mistaken, the ECU is right there in this section below the handlebar. But in order to get to it, gotta remove all of this, everything. So, I guess since this is a 2 beer job, might as well get started. Start with a little Stone Tangerine IPA. Alright, let's get to work. Alright, so I just got this little side piece of the fairing off. I'm looking at a bunch of stuff. I don't even know what the hell that is, but I do see that the ECU is right there. Now, it doesn't look like it's the easiest thing to get out. I think that there's a bolt right there in the corner that's holding it in, and maybe one on the other side behind it. So I'm gonna look around a bit and see if there's an easier way to get this thing out without having to remove all of this. Alright, so I texted a friend who said that it's almost impossible to get the ECU out by just removing this piece. But you can do it if you just unloosen a handful of pieces of hardware that hold this front nose fairing in place, and eventually it'll just slide itself forward. So wish me luck. Hopefully it doesn't fall on the ground. But as a precaution, you can see I used a ton of bubble wrap. So I've discovered that the next step in this process is removing the mirrors. So windscreen is off. I was hoping that I wasn't gonna have to do this, but you know, I'm gonna have to do it anyway, so I'm just gonna take everything off. Alright, the right side fairing is now off. So there it is. I never thought that I would have H2 pieces laying on the floor in my garage. I finished my first beer, so now we're on to beer number 2. This is definitely a 2 beer job. The left side fairing is ready to come off, but if you look in there, there's 2 big wiring harness things holding something into the fairing. I'm not sure what that piece is yet, but I know those need to get disconnected, so that's what's gonna happen, and then this piece should come right off. Getting those 2 connectors out right there was the biggest pain in the ass so far. Only because you don't want to pull too hard, you know, but they're in there, they're snug. But it's off now, so we'll go on to the next step, and I might need another beer. It's been a minute since I've checked in, but the last time I took out those 2 bolts that were right there. I took out 2 that were down below here, and afterwards, to get the ECU out was to lift and slide the upper fairing over the mirror placements right there. And then afterwards, you get access to where the ECU is, right there. Now there's a bunch of small silver screws that hold that ECU cage together. There were like 4 or 5 kind of like randomly placed. But once you get them out, the cage kind of separates, and you can tell like once it's loose enough, and then the ECU just kind of slides out, and then you unplug it, and that's it. So now the ECU is out. Now, just kind of thinking ahead, I already know that this is going to be a pain in the ass to get back into place. I don't know why. Well, part of the reason I think that there might be a small issue is because this area right here, this ram air intake, it's got a rubber gasket. I guess it makes a seal inside, and I don't think that's gonna push back in all the way. And just trying to lift it back into place just now and tell that it's crooked in there. I don't know if you can see. And then I would get one side on, but I wouldn't be able to get the other. So I don't know. I think right now I'm kind of tired, and I think we're gonna stop for right now. But mission for today is complete. I got the ECU out. I'm gonna go ahead and send this guy out tomorrow. Hopefully I'll have it back in a couple days. And in the meantime, we'll go ahead and get this tail section disassembled, and then after that start working on the exhaust. And then by the time all that's done, the ECU should be back. We'll go ahead and reinstall it, put everything back together, and we'll be done. So thanks for stopping by. I hope this video helps a little bit. If you need any help, be sure to leave a comment below. Thanks for stopping by. Take it easy, guys.